Hey guys, welcome back to the Truth Pages. Now, this video is kind of beyond the scope of what I normally cover on this channel, but I felt like it's important for me to talk about it. And of course, I'm talking about the partial government shutdown and the possibility of people losing their EBT, government assistance benefits. There's a lot more to this than I think people realize, and today in this video I'd like to show you guys some information I have on this to help you guys better understand what is coming and how to prepare yourself for what is coming. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of this information that I would love to share with you guys.
The wall, and I will tell you, it's a tough issue because we are on very opposite sides of, I really think I can say border security, but certainly the wall. So we've done a lot of work on the wall. A lot of wall is built. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of wall is renovated. We have walls that were in very bad condition that are now in A1 tip-top shape. Frankly, some wall has been reinforced by our military. Our military has done a fantastic job. So the wall will get built, but we may not have an agreement today. We probably won't.
Disagreement about the wall,
Washington
whether
Post.
it's effective or whatever. Not on border security, but on the wall. We do not want to shut down the government. You have called 20 times to shut down the government. You say, I want to shut down the government. We don't. We want to come to an agreement. If we can't come to an agreement, we have solutions that will pass the House and Senate right now and will not shut down the government, and that's what we're urging you to do. Not threaten to shut down the government, because let me just finish, because you can't get your way.
The last time you shut it down, you got killed.
Let me say something, Mr. President. You just say, my way or we'll shut down the government. We have a proposal that Democrats and Republicans will support to do a CR that will not shut down the government. We urge you to take it.
And if it's not good border security, I won't take it.
It is very good border security.
And if it's not good border security, I won't take it.
It's what...
You know what? We need border security. That's what we're going to be talking about, border security. If we don't have border security, we'll shut down the government. This country needs border security. The wall is a part of border security.
What we can agree on is we shouldn't shut down the government over a dispute, and you want to shut it down. You keep talking about it.
The last time, Chuck, you shut it down.
No.
And then you opened it up very quickly. And
20 times.
I don't want to do what you did.
20 times
Chuck,
you have called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my wall. None of us have said...
You want to know something?
You've said it.
Okay, you want to put that on my...
You said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay,
absolutely.
fair enough.
And
We
I am
disagree.
proud, and I'll
We
tell you
disagree.
what, I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck, because the people of this country don't want criminals and people that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our country. So
Okay, so here we are at Vox.com, and I want to show you guys something. Now, we all know that the government shutdown is going on right now, and that Trump established it in December 22nd of 2018, but a lot of people don't realize that that's the third government shutdown that he has had in 2018. And I'm here at Vox.com, and I want to show you guys right here that there was a shutdown that occurred earlier in 2018. That's January 20th to the 22nd of 2018 to be exact. Donald Trump had a government shutdown. And if we scroll down, we can also see that there was another government shutdown in 2018 by Donald Trump, and it occurred on February 9th, 2018. and now we're in the current partial government shutdown. That's why I feel like this is something very, very serious, because this is the third shutdown he has put out in 1 year. So this could be very significant, guys, being the fact that this is the third one that we have seen be implemented in 2018.
As the partial government shutdown enters week 3 with no end in sight, we're getting a picture of how the fight in Washington could affect people across the rest of the country. If Congress and the White House can't come to a deal to fund a quarter of the government by February, millions of Americans who receive benefits from the country's food stamp program, SNAP, risk having their assistance cut off. The IRS has also been forced to send home 90% of its employees ahead of its busiest season. That could delay tax refunds. A recent piece in the Washington Post breaks down the potential consequences of the shutdown. Economic policy reporter Damian Paletta co-wrote that piece, and he joins me now from Washington. Damian, thanks so much for joining us. Break down for us what is at stake for families, first of all, if the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, does not get funding before next month. How many Americans could this affect?
Sure. So there's around 38 million Americans, many of them children and elderly people, who receive monthly benefits under SNAP, a couple $100s a month. And there's been studies that show this money really helps prevent people, from sliding even further into poverty. And so the issue is they only have funded the SNAP program through January. And since the Department of Agriculture is not funded under this current lapse in Congress, there is no more money for this program as of February. Now, they have some reserves that could maybe cover, 60% of the monthly balance, but they'd have to decide who would get that money, whether, everyone would have to take a cut or some people just wouldn't get anything. And they're scrambling right now to sort that out because they did not anticipate this shutdown to go on as long as it has.
Well, so if the shutdown continues, is the government planning to implement any measures to make sure that people are able to get food? I mean, what can be done?
Well, they've never faced a situation like this before. I mean, there simply is no money for the program. They have not funded the Department of Agriculture, and so I suppose they could, institute some sort of emergency, but that would require, Congress to become involved and appropriate the money. And right now, everything is bogged down over the debate about the wall. So they are scrambling right now to figure this out. They only have a few more weeks before, the impact would hit. And like I mentioned, we're talking 38 million Americans, obviously many of them low income and poor, and they've never been in a situation like this where it risked being cut off immediately.
Well, in your article, you say that not only will this disruption hurt families who depend on food stamps, but also grocery stores and other businesses. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely, yeah. So for most people, this money these aren't food stamps in the, like people would think of 50 years ago. Mm-hmm. These are, for most people, these are like credit cards they get where money is automatically deposited each month. And many people go and immediately go shopping at the grocery store with the money they get because they need to refill their refrigerators or their pantries. And so businesses, will really get hit. I mean, we're talking $4 or $5 billion in February that would not be spent because that money would not be put on the cards. So there would be a lot of impact both at large grocery stores and smaller grocers around the country in every state.
Yeah, and I just keep going back to that figure that you quoted at the outset, the 38 million Americans. It is really hard to get your head around just how many Americans this will impact. But I also want to ask you about what's going on at the IRS. How will this impact the millions who will be filing their taxes in the coming months?
Right. So last year on January 29th was the first day that Americans could begin filing their taxes. And as we know, people that think they're going to get tax refunds, they tend to file first because they want that money back. Last February, about $140 billion in tax refunds was paid out by the IRS. Now, the IRS has, sent home 90% of its staff without pay indefinitely because they are also not funded under this government shutdown. We're expecting to hear from them early this week their plan for the tax filing season. That will include whether they're going to process tax refunds. Last year, they said they would not process any tax refunds during a shutdown, but they're under, incredible pressure to reverse that because of the potential backlash. So we might even hear whether they're going to have to move the April 15th filing deadline because they won't have enough personnel. So, a lot of that we'll find out in the coming days, but that's a tremendous amount of money that would be sucked out of the economy next month. if Congress or, the IRS or the White House doesn't sort this out quickly.
Right. And on that point, so every year the government pays out billions in tax refunds. What will a delay in returns mean for the greater economy without that money in circulation?
Yeah, I mean, it's $140 billion in February.
Yeah.
It's with a B, okay?
Right.
And that's a tremendous amount of money. That could single-handedly, push the country towards a recession if that money is not put into the economy. A lot of people get their tax refunds and go immediately spend it on something, or they pay down their credit card. This money gets pumped back into the economy quickly, and we've never had a situation before where this just doesn't happen.
Use the R word, though. I want to be very clear here. I mean, is that a realistic possibility that, in fact, not having that money in circulation could, in fact, drag down things economically so far that it could push the country into recession?
So the economists that I've talked to said they believe the first quarter of 2019, the first 3 months, will not be as strong as we saw in 2018. And if you add to that this idea that this money will not be put into circulation, this $140 billion, then you're pushing it really close to a possible recession scenario. Recession means that essentially that the government does not grow and it contracts. The economy contracts over the course of a period. So, as these things begin to snowball, so if people don't get their tax refunds, they stop buying things, then companies get hit and they don't reinvest or hire new workers. All those things can kind of collide into a big economic mess, and I think we're anticipating that will happen in February unless all these things get resolved quickly.
So I know you said that we're waiting to hear from the IRS here in the coming days, but has the government outlined any kind of plan for the upcoming tax season if the shutdown continues?
So last year they did. Last year, as part of their contingency plan that they published, they said that they would not issue any tax refunds during a government shutdown. They have not issued their plan for this year. And usually this is around the time of year when they say, because we're almost up against tax filing season, all the deadlines and when things will go into effect. And so, like I said, we're expecting that maybe Monday or Tuesday, and there's going to be a tremendous amount of interest and scrutiny and possibly even stock market reaction to whatever they say. Because, like I said, this is a lot of people, this is a lot of money, and this is a lot of money that gets put into the economy immediately.
Really sobering to hear about the possible consequences if this shutdown continues. Damian Paletta, thanks so much for sharing your reporting and for being with us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thousands of people here in Southern California and in 16 other states as well have no way to buy groceries right now because of a computer glitch with their food stamp debit cards. KTLA5's Chris Wolf live in Hollywood tonight. He's got reaction on all of this. Hello, Wolfie.
Hey, Rick. Yeah, a lot of very vocal reaction indeed. This Food for Less behind me here in Hollywood is just one of several stores that accept these food stamp debit cards, but of course not today. I should say that we are hearing several different things about what exactly happened. According to some reports, a computer upgrade caused the glitch. Other reports say a routine backup system check is to blame, but we know this much. A computer glitch caused the problem, and plenty of people are very angry.
I go to the register, they ask me, how you gonna pay? I said, with food stamps. Oh, we're shut down, we can't pay with food stamps. I got kids to feed, because the government stuff now, I can't feed my family. This is crazy.
Fedra Thompson is hardly alone in her anger and frustration after learning that the government program that helps her buy food for her family is not working. This grocery store's computer will not accept her electronic benefits transfer, or EBT card. The card is basically a food stamp debit card.
What's going on with America? What are they trying to do to us? Now they're trying to starve us to death. Now we can't buy food. Economy is going. You know what? I'm so upset. I don't even want to talk no more about this because this is crazy.
The scene at Food for Less in Hollywood is indicative of a nationwide breakdown. According to reports, a routine system backup check resulted in the glitch that shut down the program in at least 17 states. Many people affected assume it's all part of the government shutdown, and they refuse to believe anything else. Regardless, they are now faced with a challenge.
I don't know what the glitch is. I don't know what's going on. So I'm just trying to get more informed and figure out, how I can get something to eat, you know what I mean?
How many kids do you have that you have to feed?
I got 6 kids, okay? I got 6 kids I have to feed.
A lot of mouths to feed. Fedra Thompson now says she's going to look into food banks or soup kitchens. Other people say they will try to borrow food or money from their family members or friends, and yet others say they will simply have to go without. Supposedly, the problem will be fixed soon, but what exactly soon means is anyone's guess. Could it be hours or days? Who knows? Live in Hollywood, I'm Chris Wolf, KTLA 5 News.
And frustration from dozens of Clayton County parents who say their children are going hungry tonight after their food stamps were suddenly cut off. Fox 5's Justin Gray is at the live desk with the story that is all new tonight on The Edge. Justin.
Tom, state officials admit to me tonight that something went wrong down in Clayton County at the office that administers food stamps and Medicaid, but they're still not sure what. Parents tell me tonight they can't buy food without those food stamps.
This food stamp card ain't got number 17 cents on it.
Terry Clark says she stood in line for more than 6 hours at Clayton County's Human Services office because food stamp help for her 6 children unexpectedly ended.
There's no telling my kids that we can't eat. I'm not taking no, because my babies don't deserve that. Nobody kids should go hungry down here in Georgia.
State officials say this office was overwhelmed today, with dozens of families facing a similar problem. The food stamps just not there.
Me and my kids, they haven't ate since this morning. So, and I was supposed to get my food stamps yesterday, and I didn't get nothing.
So they was getting angry. They started banging on the windows.
A state spokesperson tells me what happened here today was out of the ordinary and it was unexpected, but they say they're not sure what exactly went wrong, what was the glitch that led to this mess.
Our budgets have not increased. They've been actually decreased.
This director admitted to me there were problems here as he tried to calm fears. And a statement, a state spokesperson says, quote, "We have both state and county staff working to understand the cause of the problem today. We are working to ensure people receive their food stamps as soon as possible."
I'm a cancer patient. I need these pills to survive. Okay?
Candace Bennett says her cancer medications have nearly run out, and after spending all day here, her Medicaid and her food stamps are both still on hold.
When are y'all gonna come through? When you gonna come through? When I'm on my last pill? Or better yet, when I'm dead? And then I won't need it.
State officials say that Clayton County office was closed Monday because of furloughs, and that could have contributed to the lines. They are investigating whether some sort of paperwork or computer problem might have led to some families getting their benefits cut off by mistake. Reporting at the live desk tonight, Justin Gray, Fox 5 News.
All right, Justin, thanks.
So as we can see when we look at these clips, there are a lot of people that are very, very dependent on this government program. But there's also a large handful of people who are abusing this government program. People that don't want to work, people that don't have an initiative to do better, people that have gotten very comfortable with receiving a handout every month for free from the government. So real quick, I just want to show you guys a few clips of people that are abusing the system, which is why I believe that EBT benefits need certain sanctions and regulation, because we have too many people that are milking the system and taking advantage of something that's meant for the needy.
Turn this shit off. Let me tell, hey, I don't want no negativity around me, baby. It's 2017. I got my taxes I paid for, my light pole, my truck is ready. My rent is paid, my bills are paid, my daughter finna graduate high school. She gonna be a bad motherfucker for her prom. I still got money left in the bank. I'm gonna be fine as shit this summer, shitting on all you young bitches. And last but not least, I just checked my food stamp balance and I got $987. My car come on again on the 7th, it's gonna be like $11.50. You hoes ain't on my level right now. You hoes can't sit with me. You hoes can't eat with me. You hoes ain't got $987 on y'all food stamp card and finna get a whole nother $11.50 in 3-4 more days. Fuck y'all. You hoes will not bring me down to y'all level. Y'all broke, y'all mad, y'all miserable, y'all unhappy. And bitch, I can't sit on that bench with you. Miss me with the bullshit.
Alright, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I'm 30 years old, I have 4 kids, and I've been on welfare for 12 years.
Some people are on welfare for a short period of time, while others take advantage and are on it for generation after generation. Do you live in government housing?
Yes, since I was 18, but they took me out because I didn't report my boyfriend living there with me.
Are you employed?
No.
How do you feel about that?
I'm comfortable with it, and I feel like I don't need to look for one because I get a check from the government every month.
How much do you collect in benefits?
I get $780 in food stamps, $500 in TANF, and I get Medicaid and WIC.
And as somebody who worked in low-income neighborhoods, I've seen it, where people weren't encouraged to work, weren't encouraged to upgrade their skills, were just getting a check, and over time, their motivation started to diminish.
Have you ever sold your food stamps?
Yes, I did for $100, and I got $60 in cash.
Do you feel like you're cheating the system or abusing it?
Nah, bro, it's free money.
Two men we met undercover.
What's going on? I'm Jeremy, man. Nice meeting you.
Hungry for cash.
I get $100 worth of food.
Okay.
And then give me 60 cash.
You want to give me like $60 cash?
Both have debit cards loaded with food stamp funds, your tax dollars that should be going to people who really need them.
That says Georgia EBT.
Yeah, it still works here.
They can't be cashed, which is why they're selling them on Craigslist. This guy, who calls himself Dibsy, told me how it works.
So if I get what, like $100 worth, and then you swipe it, and then I would pay you what, like $60?
Yeah.
And there's Brandon in Boulder.
How much would I get out of there?
You'll get $99 off this.
We never went through with the transaction.
Don't you think it's illegal to do this, though?
I have no clue. I mean, it's mine. You know, and it's yours. You know, like how's that illegal?
Do you know if this is illegal or not?
I don't know.
We don't take ignorance as an excuse.
Sean Southard posted her own ad on Craigslist, warning people selling and buying food stamps is a crime.
The people who sign the application know that they shouldn't be doing this.
We found her ad when we noticed several illegal sales popping up.
I categorize them as greedy.
She happens to be a welfare fraud investigator for El Paso County Human Services.
They're coming in saying they're destitute, they need the food, they can't feed themselves, and then here they are out there selling it for extra money.
We found ads not only in Colorado, but across the country. A nationwide search of Craigslist shows food stamps for sale in numerous states. On Twitter, every hour, someone is blatantly looking to buy or sell them.
While it looks like the system is just rampant with fraud, it's important to point out the numbers actually tell a different story. $70 billion in food stamps were given out across the country last year. If $1 represents that amount, only about a penny is abused. Investigators say chasing down this penny is still important.
Data we obtained shows people in Colorado abused more than $1 million in food stamps last year. Funds that could have gone to people who really need it.
Because they're taking benefits away from the person who's actually eligible for them, who is going to feed their family.
I can imagine the emails that we're going to get right now, and they're going to say, not everybody is like Dibsy.
No, they're not. And nobody can be like me. Like, I'm definitely one of a kind, dude.
Dibsy says he really needed $60 cash.
I guess I really want to go sleep inside because, you know, it really sucks sleeping outside, man. And I'm not a person that wants to go steal from anybody or try to do anything else. And, like, this is the most honest thing that I had.
But does he honestly need help?
Do you want me to help you call some local churches or anything like that, or like local homeless shelters?
Yeah, we gotta do all that.
Come on, dude. Let's do it. Have you tried local homeless shelters at all, or no? You just don't bother with that?
I mean, it really, you know, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it works. Have you seen the people that go there?
After several calls, we could only find one shelter that wasn't full already.
Oh, it's going to cost $63 to get him into the homeless shelter?
Boom!
Okay. So that's like a hotel stay.
It's going to cost, I hope they heard that part on the news too. It's going to cost $63 to go to the homeless shelter.
Do you know if this is illegal or not?
As for Brandon...
You don't know?
I don't know. Why are you a cop?
What's that?
I said, I don't know. Why are you a cop?
Oh, no, bro. I ain't no cop. But I do have to tell you something. I'm a reporter with 9 News. Where are you going? Hold on. Try not to run, man. I just want to get your story.
He may have escaped our questions.
Hold on, you're not in trouble.
But he's now being investigated along with Dibsy.
Brandon, hold on. Hold on, man. You're not in trouble. I'm a reporter. I'm not going to arrest you.
You can't sell food stamps. It's illegal.
Man, is this some kind of joke, man?
That's no joke. You're on ABC 6. This is illegal.
Here, bro. Hey, get that come out here.
The couple quickly walks off.
I'm here
trying to get some Obama bucks. That's what I'm doing, trying to get some Obama money.
I ain't here to get some benefits. You know what I mean? I'm here to get a check. Bitch, I want a check.
Tell me why you like Obama.
Because he gives me stuff.
So what do you get from the government? Tell me everything you get from the government.
All I get, stamps, public assistance, Medicaid. We call it money in the power. We call it money in the power.
What kind of benefits are you getting?
Oh, let's see. Whatever the hell they got to offer, like, I don't even know. They ain't like they got a checklist, like, nigga, we gonna offer this, this, and that. I'm just here to get what I can get.
Food stamps, it's just food. It's like food.
When was the last time you actually worked?
Oh, we say about half a decade.
But you're a perfectly healthy young man. Why aren't you working right now?
Because my background. Once you go to jail, it's hard to get a job.
How many kids do you have?
I have 5.
How many mothers?
4 baby mamas.
4 baby mamas? Do you really want to work, or you just want to get a free check?
I just want to get a free check.
There's a sign behind you that says Waverly Job Center. Do you have any intention of going in to get a job, or are you just going to get the food stamps?
Not looking for a job. Maybe a career, but not a job. How you doing? You looking good today.
Looks like
saying, why y'all criticizing me now? Y'all scared because y'all see a nigga got motherfucking 100 round shit, take fucking government to war, take the army to war, take the brave team to war. I go to war with who the fuck I want to, but I really want to go to war with Donald Trump, because Donald Trump trying to take food stamps from my mama, and that's all the fuck she got, bitch ass nigga. So you niggas better stay the fuck down. Look, long as the motherfucking government let us keep food stamps in Sherwood, we gonna be good. But the first time this nigga passed a law talking about he taking Louisiana Purchase, shit go get ugly. I swear to God, on every motherfucking chain I got, on my dead pit bull in the backyard beard, bitches go down. And I'm talking about all the way down, nigga. I'm talking about that mean no more barbecues, that mean no more nothing. You gotta understand, baby, them children love Fruit Loops. They love that shit. So if you take that shit, nigga, it's coming with the madness, and a nigga ain't gonna play about that. So y'all, what y'all need to do is tag Donald Trump and let him know it's up over here. We won't war, we go declare war. And I ain't worrying about ISIS, cause they just called me, they want me to fuck with them now. You heard me? Yeah, we got them drums, bitch, and grenades, but I'm scared to throw them.
Now, just to be clear, folks, I'm not trying to scare you if you receive these benefits to tell you that your food stamps will be cut off sometime this year. I'm not saying that. But I think since we've had 3 government shutdowns in 1 year, and we're still in a government shutdown from 2018, it's very important for us to explore all the possibilities so that we can be prepared. You can be prepared if you receive these benefits and still be able to feed your family.
How will this impact the millions who will be filing their taxes in the coming months?
Right. So last year on January 29th was the first day that Americans could begin filing their taxes. And as we know, people that think they're going to get tax refunds, they tend to file first because they want that money back. Last February, about $140 billion in tax refunds was paid out by the IRS. Now, the IRS has sent home 90% of its staff without pay indefinitely because they are also not funded under this government shutdown. We're expecting to hear from them early this week their plan for the tax filing season. That will include whether they're going to process tax refunds. Last year, they said they would not process any tax refunds during a shutdown, but they're under, incredible pressure to reverse that because of the potential backlash. So we might even hear whether they're going to have to move the April 15th filing deadline because they won't have enough personnel. So, a lot of that we'll find out in the coming days, but that's a tremendous amount of money that would be sucked out of the economy next month if Congress or, the IRS or the White House doesn't sort this out quickly.
Right. And on that point, so every year the government pays out billions in tax refunds. What will a delay in returns mean for the greater economy without that money in circulation?
Yeah, I mean, it's $140 billion in February. That's with a B, okay?
Right.
And that's a tremendous amount of money. That could single-handedly, push the country towards a recession if that money is not put into the economy. A lot of people get their tax refunds and go immediately spend it on something, or they pay down their credit card. This money gets pumped back into the economy quickly, and we've never had a situation before where this just doesn't happen.
Use the R word, though. I want to be very clear here. I mean, is that a realistic possibility that, in fact, not having that money in circulation could, in fact, drag down things economically so far that it could push the country into recession?
So the economists that I've talked to said they believe the first quarter of 2019, the first 3 months, will not be strong, will not be as strong as we saw in 2018. And if you take that, if you add to that this idea that this money will not be put into circulation, this $140 billion, then you're pushing it really close to a possible recession scenario. Recession means that essentially that the government does not grow and it contracts. The economy contracts over the course of a period. So, as these things begin to snowball, so if people don't get their tax refunds, they stop buying things, then companies get hit and they don't reinvest or hire new workers. All those things can kind of collide into a big economic mess. And I think we're anticipating that will happen in February unless all these things get resolved quickly.
So I know you said that we're waiting to hear from the IRS here in the coming days, but has the government outlined any kind of plan for the upcoming tax season if the shutdown continues?
So last year they did. Last year, as part of their contingency plan that they published, they said that they would not issue any tax refunds during a government shutdown. They have not issued their plan for this year. And usually this is around the time of year when they say, because we're almost up against tax filing season, all the deadlines and when things will go into effect. And so, like I said, we're expecting that maybe Monday or Tuesday, and there's going to be a tremendous amount of interest and scrutiny and possibly even stock market reaction to whatever they say. Because, like I said, this is a lot of people, this is a lot of money, and this is a lot of money gets put into the economy immediately.
Really sobering to hear about the possible consequences if this shutdown continues. Damian Paletta, thanks so much for sharing your reporting and for being with us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Now, before I close out this video, I just want to go over a couple articles I read online to talk about what could come out of this whole EBT benefits situation. I just want to point out some things that I found online before I close out this video. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at it. Quickly, I wanted to go over a couple articles with you. Right now we are at fortune.com, and this article is written January 9th, 2019, and it reads, amid the ongoing government shutdown, the Trump administration assuaged fears around funding for food stamps on Tuesday, promising that the Agricultural Department would be able to continue to provide the service to low-income Americans for the month of February. Officials had earlier warned that funding for the program would run out in January, which could have negatively impacted the 38 million Americans who rely on food stamps. But on Tuesday, Agricultural Secretary Sonny Perdue announced that the states will be given the money for February's food stamps by January 20th. So reading this article, it sounds like everything's going to be okay. But if we go to the next article here, which is at Vox.com, it reads, and this article was written, let's go back up here. It was written on the 8th, so it was written before the last article I just read, and it reads, as the government's partial shutdown drags on with no clear end in sight, millions of America's most vulnerable citizens are in danger of being left to go hungry. The Department of Agriculture, among the 9 federal agencies that shut down on December 21st, is now guaranteeing funding for the nation's largest food aid program known as SNAP, or Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, through February. So it's saying that they are guaranteeing funding for the nation's largest food program through February. Through February. So what this is telling us is in February, you'll be fine. But what about after February? And it reads, after that, the agency doesn't have a game plan to support the more than 38 million people on the program, but is looking into other options. So folks, what this article is telling us is that for the month of February, you'll be fine. You'll get your food stamp benefits. But after February is something you should be concerned about. So my advice to you, if you receive these benefits, is if you get your benefits in February, make sure that when you get them, you spend enough of those benefits to be able to last you 3 or 4 or 5 months. You don't want to buy a month's worth of food, just in case you don't get your benefits in March. So if I was you, I would take these benefits from SNAP. I would buy 3 to 4 to 5 months of food with these benefits in February. And if they do close down the food program, the EBT benefits, if they do decide to do away with it, you will be prepared, and you'll still have 5 months worth of food in your house to be able to feed your family should they decide to close down this program. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I thank you guys for joining me here on the Truth Pages. God bless you all.